Alton Towers have announced that a brand new roller coaster could be coming to the park in 2026. A ride at the UK's most visited theme park has reopened after a year-long closure, and the only thing I can really notice about its reopened state is that it's just cleaner. And as per usual, there are many different rides that have started construction, many that have opened, and even one in the UK, or multiple, that are going to be built soon. And as per usual again, it has been a busy past week, because all that and even more has happened this past week in theme parks. Yes, for one last time in 2024, we are back for one of the series of all time, this past week in theme parks, where we take a look at everything that's happened in the past 7 days or so in theme parks. Pretty self-explanatory. And as I said already, it's been a pretty busy week. And if you aren't already, subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers now, so if you want to help towards that goal, it'd be greatly appreciated. So then, the final edition of this past week in theme parks. Don't worry, there is still one episode of this series to come, but it's going to be a bit different, and not just for this past week, but for this past year. So stay tuned for that on New Year's Eve. But because it is the final this past week in theme parks of the year, and also the fact it is literally Christmas tomorrow, if you're watching this on release, then I thought we'd take a more peaceful approach to this episode and list these things off as calmly as can be. So to begin with, over at Cedar Point, Sirens Curse, the brand new Vekoma tilt coaster, has finally started construction. There are 2 other tilt coasters opening in the world, and they have both been pretty much built, so this is the last one to be built. I can't keep up with this calm voice. Along with that, a roller coaster called Wiener Looping in Europe has been completed, and the final piece of track has gone in. Parc Asterix are busy building a spinning coaster for the 2025 season, and it's not one of these spinning coasters where you look outwards, but more so looking in. And they have been building that very, very quickly recently, and I probably should have reported about it a few weeks ago, but oh well. Rapterra has started testing, and as we said a while back, there was a few shots of it going down the launch that looked a little bit rough, and there's a brand new shot of it going down the launch, and my god, it looks very rough. What has happened to B&M, man? They used to be so good. And tell you what used to be so good, when parks would tell you when a ride is closing and give you a final date that you could ride it by. Because as we've seen on a major scale very recently, and a very sad scale as well, parks aren't doing that anymore. Even here in the UK, Alton Towers didn't tell me Flavio's was going. I'm still devastated. But over at Carowinds in the US, they have announced that 3 rides will be departing. Drop Tower, an Enterprise looking ride, and Nighthawk, which is a Vekoma flying coaster. No, not like Fly, an old one. And we know how bad old Vekoma is. And they will all be getting removed, and the season is done at Carowinds, so you don't have another chance to ride it, and they've only just announced it. What is this trend of not announcing these ride closures? Please do a 180 and start telling us again. Because obviously the most major one was Kingda Ka this year, and talking of that big green and blue structure, they have filed a permit to implode Kingda Ka. Now, as much as it will be very sad to watch this entire tower just fall to pieces, I can't lie to you, when I first saw the implosion word on there, I'm actually kind of excited to see it, because it's going to be devastating, but at the same time, I don't know what it's going to look like. That's probably going to look quite insane. That'll be happening next year, so yeah, let's get ready for that. If you're in Australia, then you can already be ready for a brand new Wizard of Oz themed area that has opened in Warner Brothers Movie World in Australia. 3 new Vekomas, 1 invert and 2 dueling boomerangs. I'm not Australian, so I have no idea on any reviews or anything like that. Looks cool, I guess. And guess what else is very cool too? A Bluey meet and greet is coming to various Disney parks, including Walt Disney World, Florida. Now, I wasn't originally going to report about this, but everyone on Twitter and everything is making this out to be something huge, which fair enough, it kind of is. And second of all, it kind of links to a point that I'm going to make later in the video. Because yes, the lovable blue dog from a cartoon that originated in Australia is going to be having a massive meet and greet sort of emphasis in Walt Disney World parks. And like I said, this has already been done at Alton Towers. Get with the times, Disney. Second to Merlin, you are. Never let me even joke about that again. And guess what else is quite cool? We're actually coming over to the UK again now. We're sort of landing back here and talking more about what's happening here. The fact Ghostly Manor at Paulton's Park has been having even more construction updates, to the point where we have now seen the base of the ride cars. I'll throw a screenshot up on screen right now. As you can see, a nice green seat. It's not fully complete yet, so obviously there'll be loads of theming around it, I guess. And it does seat up to 8 different riders, 4 per side, facing different directions. And I really can't wait to see what this ride is like. Thorpe Park have released a video to do with Hyperia, and it is a backwards POV, a full POV this time. We had snippets in the Mac Rides video, and now we have a full POV. And people still think a backward seat is coming because of this. I love the speculation, but I guarantee that won't happen anytime soon. As much as I think it would be amazing to actually see that ride have a backward seat, I think it might kill someone. So maybe not. And a ride that has not happened in the past few years, that makes no sense, that segue, is the Skyride at Alton Towers. What is the update today? Well, we saw some gondolas in the station for the Skyride, and people have seen various different testing take place at the park. Well, I'm happy to say that via Bianca Sammet, the amazing divisional director's words, she has confirmed that the Skyride has entered the final stages of its refurbishment, and it should be open for next year. That is amazing to see. I'm very, very excited for the Skyride. Everyone will be in the queue for the Toxicator ride, whatever it's called. Not me. I'll be in that Skyride queue. And something else that's good to see, and I actually went to experience very recently, is a ride at Legoland Windsor that has reopened its doors early. We usually hear about Merlin delaying rides opening. What the hell? Deep Sea Adventure at Legoland had a massive overhaul over the past year. It's been closed, and they said they were refurbishing it and making sure that, I don't know, the fishies can swim. It's soft opened very recently. They said it would be back in 2025, but it's come back early. And I went to try it out, and as I said in the intro, the only thing I really noticed that had changed was the cleanliness of it all, and some of the models were new and very freshly painted. That is exactly what a refurbishment is for. So fair play to Legoland. Yeah, I thought I'd mention that because, well, you know, good to see a ride open early for once. And I do really hope to see them finally do something with Viking River Splash, or maybe they'll plan some new sort of coaster, like I hope Chessington do before the Minecraft land. Oh my god, they have! Alarm bells are going mad. Recent news has come out from Chessington World of Adventures saying about planning application to build that Project Play that we talked about, and we now know exactly what is going to be in there. I'll talk about this in more detail eventually, because this is sort of like, it happened yesterday, so it is in the past week. I'll talk about it more another time, but they are building 3 brand new rides and relocating an old one to this area. In the area where Scorpion Express used to be, Mexicana as it used to be known, Rattlesnake sadly still exists in this plan, and so does Ramesses Revenge, which really confuses me. But yes, 3 new rides, 2 of which are flat rides, which one is right here. It looks like some sort of Harold's helicopter from Drayton Manor, that sort of ride. And then the other one looks like this, and I have no idea what that is. It looks very interesting nonetheless. The other flat ride is the relocation of Jungle Bus. Get in, we're still keeping it. And the major investment for that area is a big new roller coaster. I say big, it literally does a couple turns and it goes back into the station. Still a big investment. The coaster and the area seem to have loads of theming around it and loads of like play areas and stuff and just like playscapes, everything. It's going to be a great area, and I really hope it turns out well for the park. And talking of brand new roller coasters in the UK, if you haven't heard already across the whole of social media, Alton Towers have pre-warned us and sort of pre-announced that they are going to be putting planning application in for a brand new roller coaster in 2026. Now, obviously, we all thought this was going to be Project Horizon. Oh my goodness. No, that's still further away in the horizon, but this one is coming sooner. And it is a junior roller coaster, and it's going to be in CBeebies Land. And obviously, we don't know much more than that. They said in the next few weeks we will find out more because it's going to go into the public domain, so we'll actually be able to see the layout and everything. But as per usual, even when we've been told that news is coming, speculation has run rife once again. Some people are thinking this coaster could replace Spinball Whizzer, which I don't think is going to be the case because they would have announced that by now. Although knowing parks nowadays, they might not say until the end of 2025 when all is closed. But I don't think Spinball is the place it will go. There's also a few expansion areas they could use, but again, I don't think it's going to go there. The main thing on the rumour mill that everyone is talking about, and I was kind of suspecting this anyway before they said anything, is the removal of Postman Pat the Ride, which is a huge area right at the front of CBeebies Land. And obviously Postman Pat, I don't watch TV like that, so you don't really hear about Postman Pat anymore. So to have him still there, I guess they just don't want him there. But that is if the rumour is true. We don't know if it is definitely going there or not. We'll just have to wait and see. Oh no, we have to wait a few weeks. But I would imagine if it does go there or if it goes somewhere else, then the area it's going to be in is pretty big. Meaning this could be a bigger coaster than Octonauts. And as much as we could speculate about the fact that, I don't know, the layout will have 2 helixes and 3 inversions on it and make it big coaster, if it is going to be the biggest coaster in CBeebies Land and probably the biggest ride, that would probably be left for the biggest and most popular character at the moment. And that seems to be Bluey, because not only did the Bluey meet and greet do really well for CBeebies Land, but also Bluey is now meet and greeting over in Florida and all the Walt Disney parks. So not only is that a world's first for Merlin once again, but also Bluey would bring in a huge audience. I don't see why they wouldn't, and I genuinely can't see currently another CBeebies character being any bigger than Bluey. Bring me back to the days of Engie Benji. What do you think it will be, and why do you think it's going to be a Zamperla Valere-like hero? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss this past year in theme parks. And as for this past week in theme parks goes, that's the end. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in that final video.